What is going on, you guys? It is another episode of the Sci-Fly Zone where the multiverse meets a seventh inning stretch. It's your boys Trenton and CJ, and today's destination is taking us back to Major League Baseball, and we're going to be going over everything that's happened over the last week. We're going to be giving you guys a weekly update, the best stories, the best plays, the best highlights, all of the immaculate baseball that has happened so far. And speaking of immaculate, Mike Soroka for the Diamondbacks. He threw an immaculate inning, the first one of the year. Those are more rare than a perfect game, guys. He did it versus the Tigers, and he also threw 10 Ks in that game as well over 5 innings, only allowed 4 hits and 1 walk. Insane start for Mr. Soroka.
Yeah, it was an incredible start for him. He just literally everything going right for him, especially in that immaculate inning. Everything has to go right for you in order for that to happen. And yeah, he was just dominant overall on the day. Like you mentioned, 10 strikeouts in 5 innings. Mike Soroka's like, when he first came up into the league, people saw him with like the potential to be a great ace, potentially an ace for a rotation. And if he's able to do this more and more throughout the season, then he could absolutely reach that level.
Yeah, guys can always just lock in at the perfect time, and hopefully he can keep it consistent.
Yeah, absolutely.
But continuing on with Monday's events, Lance McCullers, he also had a great start versus the Red Sox. He threw 7 innings on 1 run and 4 hits, and he also threw 9 Ks, leading to an 8-1 win, with Altuve also going 4 for 4 this game with 2 home runs. So Astros just dominated the Red Sox here today.
Yeah, 100%. Altuve is still clearly a really, really good hitting second baseman. And Lance McCullers is just a great start for him. You know, I've been following him for a while. He's been in the Astros system for several years now, and he's just like dealt with injuries here and there. Hasn't been able to get like a full season out, but when he's been healthy, he's been dominant, and we saw that in this game.
Yeah. And with them losing Hunter Brown to an injury, they're definitely going to need him to step up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. They lost their first ace, Framber Valdez, to a signing with the Tigers, and then their backup ace, the guy who's supposed to take over for him, gets hurt, which is not a good situation at all for them. But yeah, if Lance McCullers is able to do this, then they might be fine.
Yeah, for sure. And also on Monday, the 30th, the Cubs infielder Nico Hoerner did sign a 6-year, $141 million extension with the Cubs. Absolutely necessary extension from the Cubs. He's been one of the best second basemen in baseball for the last 2 or 3 years, I would say, maybe even longer, arguably.
Yeah, this was a very smart extension for the Cubs. Nico Hoerner has been a huge part of that team's success. He's one of the most underrated players in baseball, I'd say. He's like probably the second or third best second base in the game. And yeah, you just know like every year he's going to hit 280, 290, play Gold Glove defense, probably make an All-Star appearance. Like he's just a great player, and he absolutely deserved that extension.
Yeah, not to mention steal a few bags as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cubs try to lock down a couple of their other guys as well for the next couple of years. I wouldn't be surprised if they give Michael Busch an extension or something, because that's a really, really good core that they have.
Yeah, 100%. They definitely need to kind of create that core, kind of like how the Phillies have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, Luis Castillo became the 11th Dominican-born pitcher to reach 1,500 strikeouts in the game versus the Yankees that he was pitching in, which also saw Cal Raleigh walk it off for them as well. I mean, that's a good game to go to. Pitcher reaches an insane career milestone, and you see your star guy hitting a walk-off. Pretty sick.
Yeah, that was a really big win for the Mariners. Really important for Cal Raleigh, too, because he has been struggling quite a bit at the start of this season. But yeah, man, Luis Castillo with a great career milestone. He's been around the league for a while now. He's been pitching for like 10 plus years, and he's just been very, very consistent and very solid every single year.
Yeah, and the Mariners really do need him this season.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's move on to Tuesday. Ohtani made his first start of the year on Tuesday, and through 6 innings, only gave up 1 hit, gave up 0 runs, walked 3 guys, but obviously did not allow them to score. And he struck out 6 while going 1 for 3 with 2 walks while he was batting, leading the Dodgers to a 4-1 win versus the Guardians with Andy Pages, Teoscar Hernandez, and Max Muncy also collecting a couple hits, with Max Muncy also hitting a homer. I mean, the Dodgers are just in a flow state right now.
Yeah, they have been off to a really hot start. They are not playing around at all right now. Some people are already counting out the rest of the teams for that NL West. People are saying, did the Dodgers already win the division? It's going to be tough for anyone to compete with them this year. And if they just keep playing this type of baseball, then it's not even going to be close.
Yeah, you and me only had a 1-win difference on our projections for their end-of-year win-to-loss record. And I had them at 102 wins.
Yeah, we both have them over 100 wins. And honestly, they could probably get closer to 110. Honestly,
Yeah, if they can stay healthy, then you know, you know,
that's yeah. I mean, that feels like the story every year for the Dodgers. Like it's their biggest rival is themselves and getting themselves hurt and being healthy. But I mean, that's kind of the way they play baseball now. They have like eight starting pitchers that could go in and have a great game. So they just make it work.
yeah. So Andrew Painter, the Phillies' #2 prospect, made his MLB debut on Tuesday and threw 5 1/3 innings and only gave up 1 run, 4 hits, and 1 walk while striking out 8 batters. Great debut, and he helped the Phillies to a 3-2 win over the Nationals.
Yeah, great start for him. Obviously, young prospect, like you mentioned. Phillies are really looking forward to seeing what he can do in the future, and they kind of need him to step up now because they lost Ranger Suarez to the Red Sox. Zach Wheeler is still hurt. They're missing some guys right now, so they need as many arms as they can get. And if Andrew Painter is going to be a solid pitcher for them, that's just going to make them even better.
Yeah, and I mean, he obviously knew, like, I have to be a pitcher with my last name. Painter? Come on.
It's so good, man. Yeah, there are some names that just like he was born to be a pitcher.
Yeah. Speaking of guys who were born to be pitchers, Jacob deGrom, when he was pitching versus the Baltimore Orioles on Tuesday's game, Pete Alonso, his former teammate, hit his first home run as a Baltimore Oriole off of Jacob deGrom, who's also no longer a Met. What are the odds?
Yeah, nice teammate reunion there between Pete Alonso and Jacob deGrom. Pete Alonso obviously getting the better of that at bat. But yeah, I mean, I hope both of these guys have great seasons. I'm sure Pete Alonso is going to be great and hugely important for those Orioles. And Jacob deGrom just continues to pitch really, really well when he's healthy.
Yeah, man. But last but not least, on Tuesday, Diamondbacks prospect Jose Fernandez had one of the best debuts that I've seen in a while. He gets a hit in his first at bat, he homers in his second at bat, and then in his final at bat of the game, essentially hits a game-winning, but go-ahead 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th inning to seal a 7-5 win over the Detroit Tigers. And it's crazy because Detroit was holding them down for a while with Casey Mize throwing 6 solid innings, only gave up 1 run, 2 walks, struck out 9 guys. But the offense never gave up, and Jose Fernandez put the team on his back to get the win in an awesome debut, going 3 for 4, 2 homers, 4 RBIs.
Yeah, that is a great debut for him. A great first impression for Jose Fernandez there. Just coming up huge for his team. That's kind of been the theme of this season early on. A lot of young guys are getting opportunities, and a lot of them are coming through for their team. We mentioned Kevin McGonigal last week, and we're going to get to Connor Griffin in a little bit here, but these young guys are really, really making a huge impact for their teams.
Yeah, man, it's really nice to see how young the game is getting. And it's crazy because the talent is getting better as they're getting younger, too. Like, guys are making their debut at like 19 years old, 18 years old. And they're playing better than like some of the guys who've been in the league for like 5 or 8 years.
Yeah, it's really unbelievable to see. It's great, and I love how much everyone and like the teams are like embracing it at this point. And you don't really see a lot of like intentionally keeping a guy in the minors so you have more control over him for a couple of years. Like there was that weird thing with Chris Bryant when he was a prospect. They kept him in the minors so they could have an extra year with him rather than starting him on the opening day roster. I'm glad they're not really. We don't really see that anymore. They're letting the kids play, and it's been great.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on to Wednesday with the Phillies versus the Nationals. Resulted in a walk-off win for them. Down 5-1 in the bottom of the 7th. JT Realmuto hit a solo homer. Then Bryce Harper hit a solo homer in the 8th. And then down to their final strike in the bottom of the 9th inning with the bases loaded, Edmund Sosa hits a game-tying RBI single, which is then followed up by rookie Justin Crawford walking it off in the 10th inning with a single of his own. Just really fun comeback for the Phillies on this one.
Yeah, it was a great comeback for them. It was a good mix of their main guys who were there every year, JT and Bryce, obviously homering to make the lead closer, but then the young guy, Justin Crawford, putting the nail in the coffin and finishing it off for them. It's just great to see. The Phillies are, every year, they're like one of the most talented teams in baseball, and it shocks me that they haven't won a World Series yet, but I feel like in the next couple of years, we could see that happen.
Yeah, I really want to see it, but it's just crazy how back and forth the National League East is right now because, you know, they started off pretty low down in the standings, but now they're tied for first because it's a 3-way tie for first, and the 4th place team is only half a game out, and the 5th place team is only 2 games out. It's everyone's fighting for their lives here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been great. And it's only going to get more and more intense as the season goes on. I'm sure a lot of these standings are going to be pretty close in a couple months from now. So a lot of these teams are going to be competing for that last wild card spot. And it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, man. And one of those teams, like we've been saying, it's been the Marlins. And one guy who did really great for the Marlins last Wednesday, Sandy Alcantara. He threw the first complete game shutout of the 2026 season, and he did it in just 93 pitches while striking out 7 guys. This is the Sandy we've been wanting to see, not Sandy Cheeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. This is the Sandy Alcantara that we know is still in there and that we've been wanting for the last couple of years. Obviously, he had the great Cy Young year. I believe it was 2022 when he won that Cy Young. And then since then, he really just hasn't looked like the same pitcher. I'm not sure what it is. He just hasn't been able to replicate it that year. But he's been off to a great start this year, like you mentioned, that the dominant start from him. That's what the Marlins need. They have some talent in that pitching rotation with him and Yuri Perez. Those two guys have the opportunity to be a great combination. And if they're both on, that's going to be a good story for the Marlins.
Yeah, and it's really awesome that they now have a awesome, reliable catcher behind the dish now in Liam Hicks. I never heard of this guy until this year, and he is just starting off the season so hot for the Marlins. I mean, he hit his 3rd homer of the year in this game, and he collected 4 RBIs on the day to help support Sandy Alcantara. I picked up this guy out for my fantasy team the day before this game. I was so happy with how lucky I got. I mean, he's definitely going to become a standout player for this season, I feel like.
Yeah, totally. He's got a lot of potential to be this Marlins everyday starter and to make a huge difference for their team. I feel like the Marlins have sort of struggled a little bit to replace JT Realmuto as their catcher since he left to Philadelphia. They kind of haven't really found their guy, and Liam Hicks could absolutely be that guy for them.
Yeah, exactly. It's really cool to have a catcher who is really, coming into his zone and who you'll likely be able to have coming into their prime. And hopefully you can have them on your team during that time. And speaking of catchers doing that exact thing, 2025's Rookie of the Year for the National League, Drake Baldwin. On this very same day, he went 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs of his own versus the A's. And he's been one of the core reasons for Atlanta's early success this year. He's batting .318 with 5 homers and 13 RBIs in 11 games while having a 1.03 OPS. He has not slowed down at all from last year. If anything, he's on pace to do way better this year. And what's crazy is Baldwin had a home run robbed from him during this game by A's center fielder Denzel Clark. That was a great catch.
That was a great catch. Yeah, we've seen Denzel Clark make some web gems for sure. Saying as an Angels fan, we've seen it at our own stadium what he can do. But yeah, man, I mean, it's been a great start to the season for Drake Baldwin. Like you mentioned, he's only gotten better since last year. Just keeping the momentum going. It's been a really good start for the Braves so far.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they're going to be winning a decent amount of games, at least 80 to 85 wins for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of winning, Mason Wynn, he wins it for the Cardinals as he hits a walk-off bloop single to right field that lands perfectly in no man's land, the Bermuda Triangle, the void, whatever you want to call it. That's where it landed, and that's just baseball sometimes.
Yeah, hey, you just got to hit it where they ain't. That's all you got to do. If you do that every time, you're going to be batting 1,000. And yeah, Mason Wynn just knew what he had to do to get it done, and he absolutely did. He's a super exciting player. He's got the potential to be one of the most exciting shortstops in the game. And there are a lot of exciting shortstops in baseball right now. But Mason Wynn's just got all the tools. He's got great contact. He's got one of the best arms in the infield. He throws 100 miles an hour. The Cardinals are going to have to lock him up soon because there are going to be some teams looking for a shortstop like that.
Yeah, 100%. Also, Guardians starting pitcher Gavin Williams April fooled the Dodgers lineup on Wednesday as he threw 7 scoreless innings while only allowing 2 hits and 3 walks and striking out 10 guys with a Jose Ramirez home run to match. Chef's kiss, honestly, as the Guardians pull off a nice win versus Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yeah, it was a great start for Gavin Williams. He was one of the best pitchers in the second half last year in like all of baseball. Just had an incredible second half, and if he's able to do that over a full season, then he could be like a Cy Young candidate.
Yeah, So last but not least, on Wednesday's April Fool's Day, Jonathan India hit a grand slam for his first homer on the year, solidifying a 13-9 win over the Twins, as the Twins actually almost came back on this game, scoring all 9 of their runs in the final 3 innings of the game, but just too little, too late.
Yeah, man. Jonathan India, he's a former Rookie of the Year winner, and he's sort of not been able to replicate that within the last couple of years. He hasn't really looked like the same player as he did in his first year. But if he's able to bring it back and be a solid second baseman again for the Royals, like that's going to be extremely important for them. Having a good Jonathan India and Bobby Witt Jr. up the middle is could be one of the best middle infields in baseball.
Yeah, exactly. And his archetype is perfect for what kind of ball that the Royals are trying to go for.
Yeah, he fits into that team perfectly.
Yeah. So let's move on to Thursday. So Devers hit his first homer of this season on Thursday, and I'm not sure how he hit this pitch out. It was in the inner third of the plate, and he drove it out to left center field just over 400 feet away in one of the most non-hitter friendly ballparks in Major League Baseball. Just an insane display of strength as the Giants win 7-2. Just crazy.
Yeah, just incredibly impressive swing and hit there from Rafael Devers. I was a little concerned about how he would adjust to Oracle Park in San Francisco. Obviously not a very hitter-friendly ballpark, especially in the right center gap with that triples alley is tough for lefties. But, I mean, if Devers is able to do what he did on this pitch, going the other way like that, I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, although tough for home runs. For triples, however,
yes. Yeah, extra base hits in general. Devers might hit 40 doubles this year because that's a lot of open space in the outfield.
Yeah, if only he had the Billy Hamilton speed, he could actually do some inside the Parkers.
That Prince Fielder speed.
Yeah. But moving on, the Braves, they beat the Diamondbacks 17-2. Highlighted by an 8-run 5th inning and a 5-run 9th inning. 11 total batters tallied an RBI for Atlanta in this game. That's how crazy it was. 11 batters had an RBI.
That's unbelievable. There's not even 11 guys in the lineup. You have to take out a player, and then, man, that's really just everything. Everything is going right for the Braves in this game, and just a completely dominant appearance for them. Just showing the rest of the league exactly what they plan on doing this year. They are going to be competitive, and they are going to be beating up a lot of teams.
Yeah. Do you remember back in the day when people would say the Jacob deGrom special?
Yeah. Yep.
Cole Reagans ordered that on Thursday with a side of royal disappointment because he threw 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, no runs, only 1 walk, struck out 8 Minnesota Twins, but they still lost 5-1.
Yeah, man, it's got to be really frustrating as a pitcher there. He did pretty much everything he could. He did everything you should need to do in order to get the win there, but sometimes it's unfortunate that baseball is a team sport because players will have a great appearance like this and then not get rewarded for it, but that's baseball.
Yeah, very unfortunate. But last but certainly not least, on Thursday, it was announced that Major League Baseball's #1 prospect, Connor Griffin, will be called up to play his first game on Friday the 3rd. And since his call-up, he has made some pretty good defensive plays, and his first career hit was very fun, very eventful, and he also scored a run after the fact too. But he's gone 1 for 13 so far. So little bit of a rough start to the season, but it's a 162 game season. He'll have a long time to figure it out, get into his rhythm, and I'm really excited to see what he can do with his bat once he does find his rhythm.
Yeah, me too. People have been talking about this guy for several years now. There were talks about him making the opening day roster. Wasn't the case, but great to see him make this debut regardless. Really exciting game for him. Obviously, that double was a huge moment for him and his family and the fans of Pittsburgh. It's just going to be great to see what he can do for them over these next several years. And yeah, you mentioned he has been struggling since then. He hasn't really gotten a hit since that first game, but he is 20 years old. And like you mentioned, it's a long season, so he's got plenty of time to figure it all out. And he's going to be really exciting to see what he can do with Pittsburgh because, like we mentioned earlier, they have a competitive team and they want to win games, and they have some guys who have been playing really well right now. Like Ryan O'Hearn is doing really well. He's slugging nearly 700 right now with 3 homers and 11 RBI. O'Neal Cruz has 4 homers and 10 RBI. If Connor Griffin and O'Neal Cruz are able to be on consistently, like in their prime, then that duo could be one of the most exciting duos in all of baseball. Like the Pirates, and not to mention the pitching. Like they have a great team, and they want to win some games, and they're going to win a lot of games this year.
Yeah, bro, I totally agree. I do really hope that the Pirates can find a way to make all of those different players just make it work, make that cohesion work, and hopefully they can make a run for the wild card.
Yeah, I think that'd be great, and it'd be great for the fans too, because they need some positivity going for them.
Yeah, 100%. So let's move on to Friday, the same day that Connor Griffin did make his debut and got his first hit. Alejandro Kirk fractured his thumb from a foul tip and is going to receive surgery today, April 7th, and does have an estimated month or so of being out of the lineup. Just a really tough loss for Toronto. I mean, this is just one of many injuries for them so far this year. They've lost Trey Savage, Jose Barrios, Shane Bieber, and Cody Ponce, and Addison Barger. So guys, just remember to stretch.
Yes, yeah, it's extremely important to make sure you're physically prepared for the physical toll you're going to take over a 162 game season, because it's grueling, and injuries are going to happen. But Alejandro Kirk and some of those guys you mentioned were huge pieces of the Blue Jays' success last year and why they were able to get to that World Series. So it's going to be a tough month without him for sure, but we'll see how the Blue Jays adjust to that.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need to make some adjustments, because the guy that they brought in, Tyler Heineman, he made a costly mistake that actually lost the Blue Jays the game, because he made a throwing error that allowed the White Sox to tie the Blue Jays, and then that was followed up by a walk-off single by Tristan Peters in the 10th. That's baseball.
Yeah, it is just a really tough loss for the Blue Jays, and with how competitive that American League East is, they need to make sure they lock down as many wins as they can.
100%. For the Dodgers, Kyle Tucker, he hit his first home run as a Dodger in their 13-6 win on Friday versus the Nationals. And in that game, the Dodgers also hit 5 home runs as a team. Just very crazy offensive performance by the Dodgers. How many home runs do you think Tucker is going to finish this year with, CJ?
I think he could definitely have a 30 homer season. I feel like he could probably end up around like 32, 33 if he stays healthy. Obviously last year he was dealing with a hand injury that he was playing through part of the way, so hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him. But if he's able to play a full healthy season, he could potentially even go 30-30, because he can steal some bases too.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being a possibility. I was thinking 28 home runs.
Yeah, probably around that, like high 20s, low 30s, I'd say.
Yeah, but it's gonna be close.
It's gonna be he should have a good season. That contract is gonna pay for itself with the Dodgers for sure.
Yep, and we talked about this guy in our last video, highlighting all of the best stories and plays from MLB's opening weekend. We talked about Chase DeLauter. On Friday's game, he continued his success. He went 3 for 4 with a homer and 3 RBIs, helping the Guardians to a 4-1 win. Literally invaluable to this win.
Yeah, he's been a huge impact for that Guardians team. It's nice that Jose Ramirez doesn't have to single-handedly carry that offense now. It must be a weight off his shoulders. But yeah, this has been great to see from Chase DeLauter. Really, really great, strong start to his career, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he keeps this up and if he's able to do it over a full season, because if so, he's going to have a really great year.
Yeah. But last but not least, on Friday, Twin shortstop Tristan Gray hit a grand slam versus the Rays, tallying 5 RBIs on the day, leading them to a 10-4 win. Pretty fun.
Yeah, really cool. Good for him. Grand slams are one of the best things in sports, honestly, to watch. It's just so great. It's so exciting, and it's just one of many reasons to love baseball.
Yeah. So now moving on to Saturday, we witnessed probably one of the best defensive games in Major League Baseball history on Saturday, when Joe Adele robbed 3 separate home runs from the Seattle Mariners lineup, leading the Angels to a 1-0 win that almost certainly would have never happened without Adele's insane performance. I mean, that's got to be a record, right?
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, I don't think anyone has ever robbed 3 homers in a single game before. Just absolutely incredible stuff from Joe Adele there. Legendary performance. Absolutely incredible. Like you mentioned, it was a 1-0 final. So, like, he essentially won them that game, because if he's not out there, Angels lose it 2-1, 3-1. And, like, these weren't, like, catches close to the wall or, like, a ball that was going to hit off the top of the wall. Like, these were all homers. If he doesn't make these plays, all of them are home runs. So for him to be able to do that, essentially winning the game for the Angels, it's just, yeah, absolutely legendary performance by him.
Yeah, we love it as Angels fans.
Yeah, it's great to see.
Yeah. So Moving on to the National League East, we're going to talk about Jesus Luzardo. He threw 6 2/3 innings on Saturday and struck out 11 Rockies, leading the Phillies to their 4th straight win as of that game. Huge improvement from his last start as well when he gave up 6 runs to the Rangers. So it's nice to see that he's contributing to the Phillies' success and that the Phillies are succeeding when he's doing good. It's a domino effect.
Yeah, it's a good bounce back start for him compared to his first rough start of the season. I mean, he had a great season last year, striking out over 200 batters, but he didn't really get talked about as much because he's part of that Phillies rotation, which was stacked last year when everybody's healthy. But yeah, man, he's still a really great lefty pitcher, and he's going to be super important for that Phillies team, as we mentioned earlier, with the guys that they're currently missing in their rotation.
Yeah, 100%. So would love to see them make a deep playoff run as well. I'm just rooting for everybody in this season, honestly.
Yeah, I want everybody to win. Yeah, except for like the Dodgers or the Yankees or kind of the Mariners because he threw out Trout. So
Yeah, that's true. But if the Mariners did win the World Series, I would be proud of them.
yeah, I'd be happy for them.
Yeah. But I want to talk about Munetaka Murakami because on Saturday, he became the first Japanese player ever to hit 4 home runs in their first 8 games of their career, as well as becoming the first White Sox rookie to do it as well. People need to stop counting this guy out.
Yeah, man. People were really overanalyzing how he was going to play coming into the season. Obviously, that stat of how he is against 93-mile-an-hour fastballs or higher keeps getting thrown around everywhere. But if he's locked in and things are going well for him, he could be one of the best power hitters in the game.
Yeah, I would love to see him in the home run derby.
I was just thinking the same thing, man. He'd be so much fun to watch.
100%. So next, the Pirates walked off versus the Orioles as their left fielder just misreads a ball and the run scores. Tough.
Yeah, another really tough way to lose the game. Just very preventable, but every loss like that is going to sting.
Yep, and there's going to be a few of those every season for every team.
Yeah, you can't play every ball perfectly. You're going to misplay a couple here and there.
Yeah, man. So now we're going to do a little bit of an injury check. Jose Budo is going to be out 2 to 4 months to recover from a surgery that'll remove a blood clot in his right arm. Very unfortunate. Hope he recovers well. And Mookie Betts strained his right oblique on a check swing during the first inning against the Nationals and was placed on the 10-day IL. Ha-Seong Kim will be called up from AAA to fill in for him until he returns, with Miguel Rojas and Alex Freeland also being options for his position as well. And then last but not least, Justin Verlander was placed on the 15-day IL with left hip inflammation, which initially began during his start on Monday the 30th, and Kiter Montero was recalled from AAA Toledo to start in Verlander's place until he gets better. So, the hip stuff shouldn't take too long, but yeah, just some injuries going on lately.
Yeah, injuries going around the league. There's been several big name players getting injured early on here, and pretty much all those names you mentioned are key parts of each team, very impactful players. It is going to hurt not having them in the lineup and in the rotation, but it's a long season. Guys are going to get hurt. You're going to have to adjust to it. Hoping for a speedy recovery for everyone, but it's going to be interesting to see how these teams adjust to losing some of their star players.
Yeah, man. Moving on to Sunday's events, Astros ace Hunter Brown did get placed on the 15-day IL with a right shoulder strain and will likely be replaced by Spencer Spaghetti or Rigetti from AAA. Tough. I mean, he was their best guy.
Yeah, he was their ace for sure. He was one of the best pitchers in baseball last year. Finished 3rd in Cy Young voting. So yeah, that's going to be a tough miss for sure. Any start for Hunter Brown is you have a good chance to win the game. In these last couple of years, he's been great for them. So it's going to hurt for them not having him, especially now that Framber Valdez is also not on the team. They're running a little low on pitchers, but yeah, I mean, that's more opportunities for young guys to prove themselves and show what they can do.
Exactly. So moving on, Ketel Marte hit a rocket walk-off double on Sunday. I mean, he hit that ball so hard, the ball was going too fast for the outfielder to keep up with it.
It was a laser. He got all of that ball for sure. He's the captain of that team. He's leading that ball club. He's just the best second baseman in baseball, one of the best switch hitters in baseball. And any team would take Ketel Marte right now if they had a chance. Nobody's passing up on him. And the Diamondbacks really have something special with that middle infield with Ketel Marte and Geraldo Perdomo. It's one of the best in the game.
Yeah, 100%. Moving on. Brent Rooker for the A's, down 1 run in the bottom of the 10th inning. He hit a walk-off 3-run home run to seal the win for them. Pretty cool to hit a walk-off home run when you're actually down and the game's not tied. Like just that little bit of added stakes is so sick.
Yeah, it is really cool when in a moment like that, when you could win the game or lose the game for your team and it goes well for you. That's got to feel really good for him. And yeah, Brent Rooker has, within the last couple of years, he's been one of the best power hitters, one of the best home run hitters in baseball. He's gone through some slumps here and there. He has struggled at times, but when he's been on, he's one of the best right-handed hitters in the game.
Exactly. So let's move on to yesterday, Monday. To start us off, Jose Ramirez becomes the Guardians' all-time franchise leader in games played with his 1,620th game played for the franchise, beating a record that has stood since 1918, over 100 years, held by Terry Turner. And since 2015, Jose Ramirez has had an average of at least 138 games played per season. Just insane consistency, and no wonder he was able to do it so quickly.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just been a great career for him already, and he's still got several years left to go. He just, within the last couple of years, signed another extension with the Guardians, I believe 7 years. So he's gonna be playing baseball for a long time, and hopefully that's all gonna be with the Guardians. I think it'd be great if he ended his career with the same team that he started with. If he's a lifetime Guardian, then yeah, he's maybe gonna go down as the best of all time. Like, there's really there aren't a lot of players in baseball in general that have the power and speed combination of Jose Ramirez. Like, he came close to a 40-40 season a couple years ago. He might have a 30-30 season this year. Like, he's one of the best players in the game, and I'm glad that he's getting his flowers and his shine for what he's done over his career.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And next, talk about Mason Miller, because Mason Miller is 8 innings or so shy of tying the Padres record for longest consecutive scoreless innings pitched. A record previously held by, I'm going to say Claw Meredith, first name CLA, so we're going Claw, but who set the record in 2006 with 33 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings pitched for the Padres. And this is not counting the World Baseball Classic or last year's playoffs either. If you did, it would be 32 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings pitched for Mason Miller. So we're just witnessing one of the best reliever runs of all time right now by one of the youngest pitchers in baseball right now. Just crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's really insane what Mason Miller has been able to do in his short career already. Like you mentioned earlier, like, baseball is just getting younger and younger, and the players are continuously getting better and better. And Mason Miller is a perfect example of that. Still super young in his career, got so many seasons ahead of him, and he's still like one of the best pitchers in the game. Every fastball he throws is 100 miles an hour. Like, nobody can hit him. It's really impressive what he's been able to do throughout his career, and the Padres made a very, very smart decision to trade for him. And I know that they had to give up their number 1 prospect in Leo DeVries, but I mean, so far it's been working out really well for the Padres. He's just been absolutely nasty.
Yeah. Next, Zach Neto. He had a crazy game against the Atlanta Braves, and particularly Chris Sale. He had a leadoff home run versus him, and this put him at the 3rd most leadoff home runs in Angels history with 11. And this is comboed with Angels starting pitcher Jose Soriano throwing 8 innings, only giving up 1 run, 3 hits, no walks, in 10 Ks, and retiring 19 consecutive batters. I mean, what team is this? This isn't the Angels.
Not my Angels. This isn't the Angels I'm used to. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on. They've been playing some solid baseball. Zach Neto is just one of the best shortstops in the game. He's maybe my favorite player in baseball right now. He's just so much fun to watch. His power and speed combination that he has is great. And already 3rd on all time for Angels for leadoff homers is kind of insane, because he's been in the league for like 3 years at this point. This is his 3rd season. So I hope that he has many, many more leadoff home runs in many, many more seasons for the Angels. He's just a great player, and he's so much fun to watch. And we might finally have an ace now, man. We might actually have our ace in Jose Soriano. His 3 starts this season have been absolutely incredible. He's allowed 1 run in all of his appearances. The strikeout numbers are crazy. Like, he's just been absolutely dominant, and it's so great to see. And I hope he can just continue to build off of this momentum.
Yeah, just like whenever I'm watching him pitch, I'm like, why aren't they hitting him?
Yeah, he just makes it work. They just can't touch him, and it's so great to see.
Yes, sir. So that has been our coverage of this week of Major League Baseball, and we hope to see you on the next week. If you like Marvel, DC stuff, we cover that stuff. We're covering Daredevil right now, and we'll also be covering The Boys as well. So if you like that stuff, make sure to check out those videos. They'll be coming out, and they've already been posted as well. So we hope to see you on the next video, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.